They are all Mexican journalists who fled their country because they feared for their lives and those of their families. Now in El Paso, they are seeking asylum in the United States. Ricardo Chavez Aldana is a radio reporter who left Mexico after two of his nephews were murdered and his car burned down.
Those of us who work in this profession are risking our lives because we're in the crossfire. We don't know any longer who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. We need to help people on the other side of the border, and the federal government needs to protect the human rights of people in Mexico.
Alejandro Hernandez Pacheco was a photographer for Mexico's Televisa network, Latin America's largest media company. He was among 4 journalists who were kidnapped by a drug cartel in the Mexican state of Durango. His captors released them only after they realized police were getting close to the house where they were hiding.
I'm really concerned about what our fellow journalists are going through in Mexico. It's a very difficult situation because there are no guarantees that they will be protected when doing their job.
Carlos Spector, an immigration attorney representing the journalists, says the impact of the violence in Mexico is being felt in border regions in the United States.
And if the Mexican community is denied information, they are denied the right to make decisions. And so it becomes important for people on the border to understand that any problem that affects Juarez affects us.
The United States government recently granted asylum to Jorge Luis Aguirre, who publishes the political blog La Polaca. He went into exile 2 years ago after getting death threats and became the first Mexican journalist to get asylum. But unlike the more recent cases, he has chosen to keep a low profile. Reporters Without Borders, an international and independent organization, says Mexico has become the riskiest country of the world for journalists in the last 10 years. It says 68 journalists have been murdered in the past decade and 11 others have disappeared since 2003. Rafael Romo, CNN, Atlanta.